Set?
Yep.
I would like to call the regular meeting of the Village of Elmont Zoning Board of Appeals for August 21st, 2025 together, please. May I have a roll call?
Tedeschi,
Here.
Feldman.
Here.
Thank you. Mr. Nixa, for your information, I don't know if you have a copy of the agenda, but on the back of it are your rights and privileges that you're allowed as far as this meeting and how it works and everything else. So I'm not going to read it, but it's there for you to peruse as we go through the meeting in case you have any questions. That was the next item on the agenda, so I won't read it then, but that's for your benefit as well as anybody else that's in the audience. So. Next item is the approval of the agenda. May I have a motion to approve the agenda as is presented?
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I will second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Next item is the approval of minutes for the regular meeting of December 12th, 2024. It's included in your board packet. I couldn't find anything out of the ordinary, and if you did not, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes.
So moved.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. The next item is a public hearing for a non-use variance at 222 Hansberger. I would declare the meeting to be open now, Kim. And Mr. Nixa, would you take a few minutes and explain to us what you're planning on doing?
Hi, Joseph Nixa, the owner of 222 Hansberger. I am just trying to add on an addition to my house as my family's growing. There's a garage that was placed connected to my house on the property. Throughout all of this, we just realized that it was built within the setback. And so I'm asking for a variance to allow me to build the addition onto a non-conforming building.
I asked the addition that you want, is that going to be on the opposite side of where the garage is now?
It will be on the opposite
It's
side.
going backwards, but it's opposite from where the garage is. The
The
garage is on this side and you're building it behind over here.
Correct.
Okay.
Yep, it is
Okay.
within all required setbacks.
Just for my own benefit, Kim, did we check by any chance? Do we know, I'm just curious, how much of your garage would you have to lose to be in compliance? Do we know?
I
So it's a 10-foot setback. I think they have 5 feet between the neighbor. So he would have to remove at least one of the two-car garages.
One of the two, okay,
Correct.
all right. I'm not espousing to that. I'm just curious as to see. Do you know about how long ago your home was built?
I believe it was the late 60s, early 70s.
Really?
Looking
Was it built the way it is now, or was the second garage added on?
I believe the second garage was added on in
Okay.
the 80s or 90s.
Okay.
I would guess
Before you owned it.
before I owned it, correct?
Well, before, how long have you owned it now, sir?
Since 2022, late 2022.
2022.
Yeah.
The information you gave us was pretty informative. Peter, do you have any questions for him? None? All right. Sir, do you have any questions? This is an open hearing, so you're welcome. The gentleman right behind you is
yeah.
welcome to ask any questions.
I'm the one building it.
You're the one, you're going to build it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, then you don't have any questions. Oh, okay. If there are no other questions or concerns, I will close the public hearing then. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
The next item is public comment. Do either of you have any questions about anything else that's on the agenda? No. Okay. Kim, is there anything for us that we need to know about? No? Okay. Thank you very much. The next item is the election of officers. Typically, we would do this in April. April's meeting was canceled for a lack of business. And so there are 3 positions that we need to fill, and obviously with 2 of us, that's going to be a little tough to do. So the first position to be filled is that of the chairman of the Zoning Board of Appeals, and I would entertain a motion, or I would entertain, a motion for recommendation for the position,
I will nominate yourself
right?
to stay as the current chair.
I would accept that nomination as a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. Now, the next two positions, Peter, help me with this, because I was talking with Kim. If we go ahead and approve Steve as an alternate, then my suggestion would be that we make you the vice chair so that Steve would be here, but then you could run the meeting and, if I'm not here by any chance. So I'd make that motion that Peter Feldman be nominated as vice chair of the Zoning Board of Appeals. Do I have a second?
I'll accept as second.
Any other discussion? All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carried. And Kim, we'll pray that you keep being our secretary for a while.
Okay.
Thank you. The next item on the agenda is the ZBA member resignations. Though we did not have April's meeting, you have quite a bit of correspondence from Terry and from Kim and from Dale indicating that the council approved his resignation way back in April. Is there anything we have to do between the two of us?
Not really. I mean, usually you would accept it and then we would take it to council, but because we had no business.
Okay, all right, so there's no action we need to take on that. Okay, thank you very much.
Mhm.
The next item on the agenda is the ZBA alternates, and as you can see in our communication, Mr. Miller used to be the ZBA alternate, and he's now on our village council. And as such, and he's also on our planning commission, so he's not able to be a representative or an alternate on the ZBA. And so we have Steve Schneider has offered to be an alternate on the ZBA in my place only. So if I'm not here, Steve would fill in for me, but you would run the meeting then as vice chair. Okay, so therefore, first of all, I'd make a recommendation. We accept the resignation of Mr. Miller as a ZBA alternate.
So moved.
I have a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. The next item is I would entertain a motion to appoint Steve Snyder as a ZBA alternate for a three-year term ending December 31st, 2020. Kim, I'm assuming we talked to him about this, is that right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
So-
he's willing to do
And I
that?
believe,
Just for clarification, could we use a middle initial?
yes, Steve R.
Oh, I'm sorry. Yes, there
No,
is.
I'm sorry,
There
I'm
is
not used
junior
to
and
that,
senior.
Yeah,
right?
that way there's no confusion of
Correct.
which person we
Which-
expect to show
May I
up.
ask, which one is this, junior or senior?
Senior.
Senior, okay.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah,
And he has no problem filling in?
No.
Okay,
And he already is an alternate, but now that
he
he's.
was the village council's alternate, but he's
Right.
no longer on the village council, so he can't be their alternate. So
and he
then,
is on the planning commission.
so he's the planning
But-
commission's
So being
alternate.
on the planning commission, he can be the alternate for this,
As long as it, just for you only.
just for me only? Okay,
Correct.
all right, fine, thank you. Anyway, I'll entertain that motion that we appoint Steve Snyder as a ZBA alternate for a three-year term ending December 31st, 2028.
I'll make the motion to appoint Stephen R. Schneider as ZBA alternate for the planning commission for a three-year term ending in December 31st, 2028.
I will second that motion. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carried. The next item is the variance request for 222 Hansberger. Caitlin provided us a very nice informative write-up of all our responsibilities and all the things that we need to look for. Caitlin, will you take a minute and just go through those for us, please?
Yes.
Okay.
So the variance that's being requested is to our nonconformity section. So they meet all of our required setback requirements. They're proposing to increase the house. It still meets our maximum lot coverage requirements. And so it's because it is a nonconforming building, it is too close to, I believe it's that north property line. So,
South Property.
south, sorry
property
about
line.
that, wrong dimension. And so, because it's too close, it's a non-conforming building. And so that provision allows for modifications to single family. However, before an expansion can be allowed, it has to be in full compliance. That's what our current rules and regulations are associated with it.
So when you say full compliance, what does that mean?
So they would have to remove at least one of their 2-car garages.
Oh, I
And so
see.
then they fixed their setback issue on that property line.
Okay.
And
Okay.
so that's how you would be remedying it. Now you're full compliance. Now you can do the expansion that you're requesting.
Okay.
And so different communities have different philosophies on how they address nonconformities. That's the one that the village has selected. So that's how the provision, they kind of allow some exceptions. And so that's generally the nature of it. It is a legal nonconforming building. So it was permissible whenever that was constructed. Since whenever that was constructed in the regulation that's on the book now, it would be considered that nonconformity. I believe that neighbor also is too close to the property line on that same side. It looks like they're about 5 feet off too. And so you have a nonconformity on both sides. I think there's probably 10 feet equal between those two homes. And 10 foot is what we encourage for fire safety purposes, for fire spread and things of that nature. So some of the different numbers associated with it, I did put in there associated with it. The applicant provided a lot of different explanations associated with it, but I'll focus more of my discussion on the standards for it. So as you're well aware, there are our approval standards associated with our variance considerations. To find them all in support would be a justification for approval. If we find that one of the standards cannot be met, that would be justification for denial, in which we would say that standard and fact finding associated with it. So looking at our approval standards, standard 1 talks about that the variance being granted would unreasonably prevent the property owner from using the property as it's permitted and provide an unnecessarily burdensome. So our findings of facts associated with that is that the portion of the building that's non-conforming is the attached garage. It's customary for single-family homes to have 2-car garages. The applicant is not proposing to remove one of the 2-car garages to be in compliance with the intent. The building addition is proposed to be completely compliant with our current zoning regulations, except for that non-conforming provision. The applicant in their application mentioned, again, their legal non-conforming status, meeting all the different setback requirements. They're not proposing to increase their non-conformity, so the bulk of the building, if, as you mentioned earlier in the public hearing, they're not increasing the length that they're not conforming with their neighbor. They're going farther behind where the house is, and so there's not an increase there
Now,
whatsoever.
if there was an attempt to, he's not, but if there was an attempt to do that, that would really cause a problem then, correct?
Correct. That would be more of a double situation
I see.
from that
Okay.
nonconformity standpoint. And then the garage, by removing it or moving all of it, that would impact the value of the home. Standard 2 talks about that the variance would be substantial justice to the applicant as well as property owners in that same zoning districts. The relaxation of this standard would not substantially provide relief and would be more consistent with the justice to others. So I mentioned the same type of principles. It's a non-conforming building. It's customary for single-family homes to have 2-car garage. They could remove one of the 2-car garages. It would appear that that property to the south of wherever this property line is, they don't meet the required setback either, and it's not a condition within this entire subdivision.
I see.
So it is unique to this property, and there might be one or two others, but perusing that neighborhood, it's not a common situation. So within that zoning district, you're more or less being consistent there. And then the other standard or fact of finding was that the applicant is proposing that building addition and is in full compliance. Standard 3 talks about the problem is due to unique circumstances to the property, not a general condition to the area. So as I mentioned, the neighboring property has the same setback issue, but it's not rampant throughout the entire subdivision. It is more unique. The property is large enough to easily accommodate the additional space in that rear yard.
May I ask, how deep is your back?
Steve.
It's a half acre.
Oh, it is it is a half acre. Oh, okay. Thank
It's
you very much.
significant.
The house is substantially close to the.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. Okay, go ahead.
It goes back towards Chapman's Field.
Yeah, okay. I've driven by your home and it looked like it goes back quite a ways.
Yeah, it's hard to tell.
Okay.
There's a little drainage.
Sorry, Caitlin, go ahead.
Nope, that's all important parts of it. But yeah, they do have a substantial rear yard. And so that's not really an issue from our standpoint. And the property owner does have some power lines in the front of their house too. So there is some different barriers associated with that front component. Standard 4 talks about the problem regarding needing a variance was not created by the applicant or previous owners of the property. And so it is a legal nonconformity. So that is something that they did not directly develop themselves. It is unique within the subdivision. They are proposing an addition that would otherwise meet our zoning requirements. The applicant is not proposing to remove one of their 2-car garages, and the applicant is desiring to increase their dwelling size. So they are proposing the addition, which is triggering the need for that variance. Standard 5 is that by issuing this variance, it would still uphold the spirit of the ordinance and maintaining public safety and welfare. And so it's customary, single-family homes have garages and typically 2-car garages. And so the specifics around this single-family home of enlarging it, even if the addition is, the exception to this rule is you're allowed, that this provision gives is only when you're still too small for the dwelling unit size.
On that, explain that a little bit.
So in that same non-conforming building provision,
Okay.
you have an exception for single-family homes,
Okay,
but it's tailored so narrow that it's only allowing this exception that you can do an addition if you still don't meet the minimum floor area. So we'll still let you do the addition even if you're not fully in compliance, but only on the area of the house if it doesn't meet the requirement, which is extremely narrow.
It's got the minimum requirement in the ordinance is some ridiculously, like 400 square feet.
It's quite small to
Yeah,
begin
or
with.
800 square
So
feet, yeah.
it is extremely crafted very narrowly. Now we're working with the ordinance that you have, but most zoning ordinances have a little bit more grace towards single family homes because part of the intent of a lot of those provisions is you want people to be able to utilize their property, especially for growing situations, as long as they're meeting other setback requirements and not causing a nuisance. So as I mentioned, they're not proposing to increase any of that frontage or compliance issue on that property line. They are proposing the building addition that would not increase a public safety standpoint. As I mentioned, their addition is behind the house, not the garage part, which is the non-compliant. And even then, they still have a 10-foot from their neighbor. It's not all on their property, but that's the fire safety best practice. You want to be at least 10 feet away. It's less likely then you have a fire-to-fire problem.
so there's not an easement problem with your neighbor to the north then, is there?
I don't believe so.
There's plenty of room
Oh,
there.
yeah, there's plenty of room.
Okay,
Because
okay,
the, yes,
okay.
it's like mirrored.
So it's your house and the one directly next to you on going south? Both of you have that same situation?
Correct.
Interesting. Okay,
Yeah, there's a few other things.
okay.
It's not super common throughout the subdivision, but there are a few.
Okay.
That's, so, just ask a quick question if I could.
If it's up to the chair.
Yes, go ahead, go
Yeah,
ahead.
so if that was built and approved when it was built, wouldn't that be grandfathered in? Because you come to a new ordinance now you want to do, and he buys a house, he doesn't know it's non-compliant. Nobody told him it was a non-compliant. He may not have bought the house if it was non-compliant. You know, if he wanted to if he said, oh, I want to put an addition on here, I'm gonna have a growing family, I got plenty of room. And then, you know, you end up with this, and he doesn't even know about it.
But
Right, it wasn't in disclosures when I.
isn't that what it means though when they say that it's legally non-conforming? Is that it's grandfathered in?
Yeah, and unfortunately, the real answer is it's about due diligence. And so that's why it's important when you do different transactions in that way. If you want a pole barn, you ask the community that regulates it, can I do that? Just because you want to do something with your property doesn't mean you can do it. So you can't have ducks. You maybe knew that when you bought the house, maybe you didn't. And so that's one of those things. So that's why it's a legal nonconformity, is because it's not his fault. The rules changed. But correct, it's legal nonconformity, but the change is you're changing the home to increase it. So you can continue to use it as is, but it's the addition that's causing, and how the language is written.
I'm assuming here would be another problem. Let's suppose he wanted to put the addition behind both garages. Then he's got a problem, because then he would be, with the current zoning, he wouldn't be able to do that, and that would cause him a lot of problem. Fortunately, he's on the other side of the house, which he meets all the requirements, but if he wanted to attempt to run it behind the two garages, the one garage is already not in compliance, so he would have some difficulty doing that. That's the reason, another reason for the, for the request for the variance. He is, way back when, 20, 30, 40, 50 years ago, he was legally in compliance, so that's the reason the legal part of nonconformity comes into being with this particular piece.
So, yeah, so that's not conformity now, but it was approved before, and it was grandfathered, basically, is what I look at. It's still to your legal rights, the ordinance now, it's not.
Well, but
Back then, it was approved, and, it's just like me taking a building permit, and, I build it, they approve the plan, and say, okay, go ahead, build it, and I build it, and then 10 years later, they change the ordinance.
Well, you're asking for an addition. That's a
Yeah.
trigger. So building
You're
code
changing
has
the
the same
physical
thing.
structure.
There's code compliance for a certain amount of renovation. You have to meet the lead stuff now, or you don't have to. So same kind of
Yeah,
concept.
I'm just trying to understand it.
Sure.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, the best example that I could think of to give is if it's not for construction as much as electrical, but if you uncovered the walls in your home, and you have to have an electrical inspection for a new addition that you're putting on.
Right.
If you uncovered walls that had old knob and tube, guess what? You got to change all that too. You took those walls down, right? So now you have to pass 2025 code, not
Yeah,
1895 code,
I just
right?
did
So
that.
it's kind of similar situation.
Yeah, I was in Almont here, and I put an addition on for my mom and dad who lived there, and I had to make it all compliant. The smoke alarms all together, all the stuff, so, yeah, I'm aware of that part, yeah.
Plumbing would be the same way.
Yeah, probably was the same thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you in any way touch the original structure,
Yeah.
and then put an addition on, you then have to bring all the utilities up to current code. Yeah. Go ahead, Caitlin.
It's the proverbial opening Pandora's box.
Yes, it is.
It's like this DIY show, the DIY shows on TV. They always say, you're going to do this or this. When my wife and I watch it, my first comment is, how many surprises are they going to find as soon as they start
Oh, yeah.
opening something
And
up?
they do.
Because 100% of the time, there's going to be a surprise.
Yeah.
There is. It's just going to be there. All right. All set?
That is the end of my analysis. So you have those 5 standards. So I'm
So I
here
just do
to.
have one question for you. I
Yes.
can't find it right now, but I thought I read it in here that the overall square footage was well within the current ordinance. Okay. Only up like
So that was
8 or
in the
10%.
cover letter. So
Okay.
the minimum dwelling size is 960 square feet. I believe the current is 1,080. And then they're proposing an addition that would make it 1,878. You don't include the building or the basement area as part of our calculations for that specific
Are you putting a
reason.
basement in? Oh, you are. So you're going to dig a whole foundation. Okay.
Yep, so they're doing an addition basement-wise, but then also on the surface. And then they're relocating their porch, which isn't a problem. Their porch is in compliance. It's in the rear yard, not a big deal. So they're going from a lot coverage of 5% of their lot to 8% of their lot.
You have a big lot.
You got a big lot.
So the last question I had for you, Caitlin, is I know that there was a comment in here somewhere about this is specifically for the addition of the house, not the addition of an included deck maybe in the future. Just for the homeowner's sake, is he gonna have to come back for another non-conformance variance?
Nope,
Should they want
he-
to add a deck on?
Nope, so because he has the porch specifically listed on that site
Okay.
plan, I think that would be reasonable, that they wouldn't have to come back because we allow them to do the building addition as drafted. And so that's how you can word
Just
that
didn't want you
motion.
guys to walk into, hey, by the way, you have to come back to get another variance for your deck, because it's not covered.
Luckily, it's not covered. If it was enclosed, it'd be part of a building, but it's not enclosed, so therefore, this provision does not comply. But anyway, yes, it's on our site plan,
Well,
so,
that's a good point. Suppose he wanted to enclose it in the future.
well, you can word it where you could say that it doesn't increase the,
Saleable square foot of the home,
the,
the living.
So you can either give the exact square footage in the approval, so that way they can go up to that percentage. The other thing you can say is that based on the provided site plan, including the porch addition. So that's something you could say, and if they enclose it or don't enclose it, you're still looking for that. You could even be more generous and say that you give this property the ability to have the addition, as long as it doesn't increase the
Percentage of the lot.
side of the nonconformity. So that south property line where that garage is.
Makes sense to you, Peter?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So you can have technically you could have 3 different structures of that approval. So you
I
could,
mean, it looks like the deck is gonna, the plan is to have it added on to the addition
Looks like it. yeah.
portion.
The porch is going to be added
Yeah,
on to
that's
the
gonna be-
addition.
That's in the package.
It's in the
Yeah.
package.
Yeah, I'm looking at
Okay.
the back of the site plan.
but even then, I think if you say as provided in the site plan, even if they enclose it, they kind of showed that's the area that it is, and I think you can give that grace administratively.
So in our sample motions we have, the one does say as shown and provided in the site plan.
Correct.
Okay.
And so you can modify that slightly to, if we are really concerned about the porch, to say, and include a enclosed or non-enclosed porch. We could do that too.
So, okay. Caitlin, thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Welcome.
All right. Any other comments from you folks? Nope. How long will it take you to make it?
It's fast. The kids are moving.
So are you going to handle all the trades, sir? Are you the general contractor? Yeah? Okay. Well, if there are no other questions, I would entertain a motion to approve the variance request for 222 Hansberger.
I'll make a motion to approve the requested variance from section 10.02.1 by Joseph Nixa for 800 square foot addition of the existing non-conforming building as shown in the provided site plan located because it meets all the standards in section 11.02.2.a, sections 1 through 5.
I would second that motion. I would second that motion. All those in favor? Aye. All those opposed? Motion carries. You're ready to go.
Thank you.
Good luck. I hope you don't run into any surprise.
Oh, yeah.
We've had enough, including this one, so.
Can I ask what, is there approval right now, and then we have to give that to the county? We could.
Well, I think they'll let the clerk or whoever go up there, and then we just talk to them.
That's
Kim will.
That's
That's
me.
Kim.
Oh, Jim notified.
Yeah, usually I will write up a approval
Okay,
and send it over to Construction Code Authority and
Perfect.
copy you.
because we're set to go, we're just waiting on this.
Okay, so do you want me to do that tonight?
Yeah, that's what she's waiting for.
Okay, I will do that tonight then.
Thank you.
Sounds like it should be really nice when it's done.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Yeah.
All right. Old business, we have none. Nothing for us, Kim? All right, then I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
Make the motion to adjourn.
I second that motion. All those in favor?
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion carries. We are done. Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.